All right, now it's time for another panel discussion. The topic will be navigating the role of technology in streamlining tax litigation, enhancing efficiency and accuracy. The moderator for this session will be Mr. Yashlok Rajan, Zonal Head, North India Sales, Iris GST. Let me give a small brief about our moderator. Mr. Yashlok brings over 12 years of extensive experience in the industry. He began his career with Reliance Telecom in the business development division and later moved to Busy Infotech, where he managed sales operations across South India. With an extensive 12 years of his career journey, Yashlok sir holds a BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from ICFAI Tech, Dehradun, and an MBA from IBS Gurgaon. And now he also includes an impactful role at Paytm and ClearTax. In 2022, Yashlok joined Iris Business Services, taking charge of sales for the North India region and in the domestic market. He oversees a portfolio of Iris developed software solution related to GST compliance, e-invoicing, e-way bills, MCA, and many more. Currently, he leads a team of committed professionals known for their consistent performance and successful delivery. With this, everyone, this is our moderator for this session. Now, let me introduce all our panel members. First will be Mr. Dinesh Mittal, Senior Vice President, Taxation, Varun Beverages Limited. Next will be Mr. Shrey Gupta, Head of Tax, Junglee Games India, Flutter International. Next will be Ms. Neetu Gupta, Senior Vice President, Finance, Head Tax, Payables and Fixed Assets, Aviva Life Insurance Company India Limited. Last but not least will be Mr. Sunil Arora, Director, Taxation, Cars 24. With this, let us invite the entire panel on the dais along with our moderator. Everyone, let's give a huge round of applause. Energy, everybody, please. All right, let's kickstart the panel number 2 with some energy, everyone. Let's give some respect, some energy to the entire panel because I mentioned in the very beginning that we have top-notch speakers invited from the respective firms, and they are here with us today to share their knowledge, their insights with us. So with this, over to you.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. It's a good afternoon, actually, delay the session. So it is pleasure to have a senior panel member with us from the tax segment. And today we are discussing on a topic, how technology is transforming tax litigation, making it more efficient and accurate. As a tax dispute, it's almost 8 year, GSTN is in India is 8 year olds. And in last few years, 3-4 years, the notices will increase very rapidly. Because GST is settled down and they start raising the notices through AI and other technology. So authorities come to the AI, and also as businesses, we also come with the technology, and we improve our database, correct our recon process and everything. So there are lots of challenges also to implementing the technology. Obviously, the data security is one of the main concern. The team is not want to change, and even management also not easily change the old solution. So these are the few hurdle also in this way. So today we will explore how tax leaders are leveraging technology in their current organization, their real experience we have to get it today. So I'll start with the Neetu ma'am. How is technology currently being used in your organization to streamline the tax litigation process, ma'am?
Hi, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity, to share my views. I think in today's world, use of technology is given. Gone are those days, as one of the panelists mentioned in earlier session, that without technology, time's up. So for manual processes, time is really up. When we have thousands of vendors, and every month we have thousands of invoices, plus the volume, apart from volume, the the scale, from which sides the invoices are coming. So technology, use of technology by the team, by the finance function, by the tax function, this is all given. And I think with technology, the litigation framework has changed. Earlier, we used to have a lot of litigation around facts, where, I have seen those days in the VAT era when people were not able to produce C form or F form, and, there were a lot of litigations around that. However, now in today's world, in terms of facts, in our organization, we have almost zero litigation. So 99% of, I would say, the inquiries, we don't let them turn into litigations. They are just closed at that stage, because the use of technology we do and the data, which we prepare. So all that which the tax officer is looking for, we are able to produce that. So, that is one thing. Now, what is left? Left is the litigation around the legal points. And for that also, the role of tax team member is to analyze what is the legal requirement and prepare the facts, in line with that legal requirement, so that, there is very little room left for the tax official to challenge us on the ground that they didn't get this information, and basis that they have to interpret the law in a particular manner. So according to me, technology, use of technology is given. We have all evolved from the stages, most of us have more than 2 decades of experience in the industry. So we have all evolved from the stages where we used to file manual tedious returns, and today we have come to a stage where, within 15 days when we file the return, if there is any anomaly, it comes out. And most of the times the anomaly is because either, some entry has not been correctly reflected, or, there is some data alteration which has been done, while reviewing it. But otherwise, system is more or less supporting us in ensuring that we don't let inquiries turn into litigations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's great, detail you are sharing with us. So now I am coming with Sunil ji. What digital tool or platform have you proven most effective in improving accuracy and efficiency in tax dispute management?
Thank you, Yash, for your question. First of all, I would like to, thank you, for inviting me here. It's a, privilege to be part of this knowledgeable panelist, and contributing to the conversation. With respect to your question, technology is not just a tool now. It's a strategic ally, to addressing the modern days litigations. So, with respect to tools, we have seen digitization in last 10-15 years, both in terms of direct taxation as well as indirect taxation, and from both sides. I mean, it's from government also and from taxpayer also. So if we take the example of income tax, so we have e-filing portal, we have faceless assessment, filing of online appeals, virtual hearings. So now, we don't need to go to the department and, submit documents manually. In terms of indirect taxation, government, we have GSTN portal where, everything is now automated. Now we can file appeals, we got notices online, we file appeals online, we submit our responses online. Also, from, taxation perspective, from taxpayer perspective, we are using third-party tools like Clear, IRIS, other tools available in the market. Big Four is also have their own tools. So, which helps taxpayer, identifying, mismatch in 2B versus our ITC, filing of returns, and, these tools are integrated with government portal also. So, for, adapting technologies now, no more a, compliance, we are not more focusing on compliances, we are focusing on, how we eliminate our dispute in taxation. Apart from these tools, we have customized tool where, we can track our litigation notices, taxation, litigation modules are available in the market, which help us, to track the litigation. Also, now these days technology, is playing a vital role in addressing our tax litigations. So now one more thing I want to highlight, technology is not, it's something we need to take it seriously, because government is far ahead from us in implementing the technology. They have all the data, correct? So, and in last, I would say, technology will not reduce your litigation or dispute, but it will decide who will win the game. Thank you.
Great, Sunilji. So your point of view is very clear, and I'm saying that government is very far ahead compared to the businesses currently doing, because they are actually tracking from the invoice level what you are doing and all. So e-invoicing is the part of that. In last few years, they also formed the tribunal by which they are taking care of litigation faster. So we also have some solutions which make our things faster. So I'm coming to Mr. Dinesh. How can automation reduce manual errors and delays in preparing litigation documentation?
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, always I put a disclaimer that whatever I'm discussing is my personal views and my organization may have a different view. So that's a mandate to, call out a disclaimer. That applies to all of us. And, very interesting time. And you all must be happy that, the real is surpassed by reels. And, the actual is surpassed by artificial. So we are discussing, artificial intelligence and not the real intelligence, right? Having said so, as we speak, we can't survive without AI, ML, or all the, fancy jargons we have been listening since morning. So you have no other choice but to implement the tools and AI and ML to reduce your litigation. Believe me, like Neetu mentioned, the officer is issuing a notice. And I have come across a particular instance where the officer is not able to translate the actual issue in that notice because it was supported by AI. So they got the information by AI and they have simply issued the notice, right? And also, you need to see that whenever you are fighting with anybody, you need to have a level playing field. If they are using AI, you have no other choice but to use AI to fight with authorities. The bad part is that they are not educated enough and they are using AI to issue a notice. And the classic example in the early session also, somebody raised this e-way bill reconciliation. We are talking about ITC reconciliation. I'm saying ITC reconciliation is okay because everybody is focusing. There is a direct involvement of the money. But in e-way bill, there is no involvement. Yesterday, I had attended a hearing wherein I was explaining to the officer why there is a difference in e-way bill issued and the figures mentioned in GSTR 3B. He was not able to appreciate that while on delivery challan you are sending something, why if you have issued the e-way bill, you have mentioned the value, why you have not reported the same in 3B. That was very unfortunate. Right? So there could be n number of reasons why while you are issuing a e-way bill but you are not reporting in 3B. But since they are using AI and they have not put enough validation in their AI so that they should not be issuing such notices. So, to handle litigation, in the earlier session also, there was a discussion that we need to proactively start, preparing data and preparing repository so that you can handle notices well in time. So like, by 30th of June, you will start receiving so many notices so that, the department is not going to, period of limitation is not going to be passed. And you will get, sometimes they are giving only couple of days to respond to that notice. So you need to use AI, you need to use ML, you need to collaborate with your cross-functional teams so that you will have available data, readily available. For example, now after GST, there is no prescribed documentation. And the officers are picking up the GST audit, and the first and foremost information is, please provide your audited balance sheet. If you have multiple states registration, you will not have audited balance sheet for each and every state. Then they are looking for a state-wise trial balance. You should be ready with that trial balance. You can't create that trial balance at the time of, responding to that notice. So you have to have that repository available. You need to analyze what kind of questions may come. And believe me, lot of, legal points has already been settled in GST. Government is still working on that to settle that. But it is only data where you are receiving notices and you need to respond to them in time.
Thank you, Dinesh ji, for sharing that good insight with us. So now I coming to Suresh. So what are the key challenges in adopting technology for tax litigation, and how can organizations overcome?
Thank you for the question. I think one thing which is very clear hearing both the discussions so far is that GST is the main problem for most of the organizations. But I'll try to keep it more generic rather than being specific to GST, because I think once the new law comes next year, probably the next 5 years we'll be talking about income tax more than GST. Now coming back to the question in terms of what problems organizations face in terms of the technology, I think there are many. First and foremost, I think somebody is also mentioning in the previous panel, data confidentiality. Now a lot of software companies can give you IT approvals, ISO certifications, etc., but still you have to meet a certain level of standards for you to be confident as an organization that whether your data will remain secure. Second, the type of product that you would need. I mean, each organization has their own requirement, and I think most of the companies that are preparing these softwares have now sort of developed off the shelf, so you have to customize, and still, something you find in one software, something you don't find. So to align all of them together and bring one product that suits you, finding that is sometimes very difficult. I think third probably would be the size of the organization and the cost of the tool, right? So, I mean, they don't match up. We have been talking about manual processes still being used rather than the softwares, because obviously you cannot afford the cost of the software that comes, right? And therefore it leads to a lot of problem. Fourth, I mean, you will probably have to create a distinction in terms of how the software companies or the consultants for, I mean, basically whose product you're using are going to use your data. Because sometimes this becomes a data mining exercise for these companies, who in turn then use your data and come back to you, say, we can provide you these services, right? So, I mean, these are some of the major problems I would, see in terms of companies adopting these tools. But predominantly today, the way I look at it is one, data confidentiality, and two, the cost of these products.
Yeah, thank you, Shrey. I'm totally agree with you. Like every company having their own way of filing or preparing the GST and all.
Yes,
So maybe the solution.
if I can add one point
why not,
to Shrey's pointers. Another thing is the longevity of service providers, because most of these service providers have come up to meet this niche requirement of GST notices and GST reconciliations. I remember being part of MNC group where we had worldwide headquarters in India, and we used to manage more than 24 jurisdictions internationally. And for that, one of the service provider 2 decades back had provided us the same kind of solution which is on offering now for, so that sitting here in India, we could have look and feel of, what are the notices, litigations, on in various jurisdictions. But however, now definitely the cost has come down. It is, 1/5 of what it used to be at that point of time because of the volume. But most of the service providers are still, the new service or recent service providers. And I find that, few of them have actually, just stepped into this area. So to what extent they would be available in next 5 or 10 years to serve, this requirement when, because what if government comes out with, this solution as a part of their offering? So, that is another option or another aspect which we need to look at, because when the GST was coming in, we found many ASP, GSP providers coming in, and few of them are no more there in the business. So that is another angle which companies need to look at while they are looking at shifting to technology.
Correct, ma'am. So now I am coming to you only. What is the role does data analytic play in identifying pattern and potential risk in tax litigation cases?
So as I said that, data helps us in knowing what has happened in our business. And, earlier which we used to do using people, now most of the things machines are able to do. But at the end of the day, human intelligence is supreme. So, yesterday itself, I was reviewing a data where, the system had given absolute fabulous reconciliation between 2A and 3B, and they came out, what is the difference, what is the excess claim and everything. And everybody missed that we as an organization are contesting some legal issues with respect to 2A. For example, government had come out with notifications or circulars stating that those vendors who had incorrectly reported the GST either as B2C or they made the incorrect reporting in different state, we could have the certificates from them, either management certificate or CA certificate. And at that point of time, our assessments for that respective years went through. Even, at that point of time, I had requested government that it should be part of the GST system, but they said this is one of, situation benevolent provision which we have created, and we don't want to, work on this. As a result, what has happened? That though we have manually taken the certificates and for that respective year, the assessment might have dropped, but in terms of carry forward of input credit, that amount is not impacted, or I would say is not accentuated with the input credit which we rightly deserve, which should have been part of 2A. And as a result, I'm sure if if simply looks at the tool without applying the human intelligence, there is a high probability that one would miss it. So it is absolutely necessary to use tools, but at the same time, those tools are to facilitate us, and we cannot have over reliance on that. Now, coming to the aspect, how does it help? So recently we were into this industry-wide litigation, and based on the technology, we were in a position to dissect our data. This was a case where department was trying to disallow the ITC, and they had taken statements of lot of vendors, and as we all know, lock, stock and barrel, they disallowed everything. Now we could dissect the data as to what are the vendors to whom they have issued summons, vendors have given statements, What are the vendors who have received summons but they have not been investigated? What are the vendors who have been investigated but they have given, favorable statements favoring us, not the revenue, and who are not at all investigated? And we were the only ones in the industry to do this. As a result, at the adjudication level itself, we got substantial relief, whereas, industry is struggling. So this is the kind of support which technology and trend analysis can help us, but only thing is that, we have to maintain our supremacy over these systems.
Correct, ma'am, correct. So, Mr. Dinesh, can AI and machine learning enhance decision making or support legal research in tax-related disputes?
So, Pushpa, I think Neetu has already, given the real-time example on that. That AI and ML can definitely help analyzing data, and I've also already stated that we need to understand how to use these AI and ML, right? So we all know our legal system is heavily led by the act, rules, notifications, circular, legal precedents, right? So sometime when you are actually fighting for a particular legal issue, you need to use all these AI and ML to actually know where we are, what all rules and regulations are applicable on a particular issue, what are the legal precedents available, what are the industry issues, and if it is not the industry issue, can we draw inference from some other legal precedents which can help us in fighting our litigation, right? So, and there are n number of tools available, and we are just talking right now about AI ML, but there are other tools where you can easily pull out, legal precedences relating to your particular issue. So this is helping in a big way, to my understanding, when you are using technology to respond back to your, notices or legal issue. And some of the tools right now available in the market where people are actually analyzing your notice, they are preparing a summary, and they are also helping you with the relevant provisions of the law, and also the legal precedents relevant for that particular issue, and also the industry-based issues. So if you can use that, and I'm sure in that case, you would be in a position to defend it better rather than doing it manually.
Correct, sir. So, Mr. Sunil, the next question with you: how important is digital record keeping and document management is resolving tax litigation efficiency?
So yes, digital record keeping and document management system plays an essential role in resolving tax litigation in today environments. So managing documentation, it's what I think it's controlling the narrative. So if you have a proper document management system in your organization, you can control the whole narrative of the litigation, because you can file your reply on times, and your replies should be based on the factual document. Also, it will increase the credibility with the government department also. So it's very much important to place digital record keeping and document management system in the organization to resolve the tax litigations. So let's say practical example in transfer pricing assessments. So we have documents like intercompany agreements. We have email communication with overseas entities. We have benchmarking studies. We have financial data. So think about a situation, suppose these documents are stored with different departments, and that too in manual form. So if a notice come for assessment, so it's very difficult to make reply to that notice on time, and that too with accuracy. So managing digital documents is very much important, and same example we can take in GST, where the burning issue is denial of input tax credit. So if you don't have the digital documents, how you can, file your replies on time with, two-way reconciliation, with invoice, with e-way bills, with payment proof to vendors. So managing digital documentation is no more a choice, it's a compliance necessity. Also, considering now government, litigation is also a virtual litigation. We need to file our submission with supporting document at whether it's GST portal, whether it's income tax portal. So if you are not ready with digital record or documents, so it will be, very stressful for the tax team or finance team to, get the favorable order from the departments. And also, let's not forget about the continuity issue, because litigation will come after 1 year, 2 year, or maybe 5 years. So considering there are team gets change in tax function, in finance function, in legal function. So if we don't maintain our record digitally, or then it will be very difficult to resolve your tax litigation. That's too in your favorable. So in summary, I will say it's very much important, to digital record keeping and maintaining digital documentation in the organization. So I'm coming from resale automobile industry. So I would say, strong documentation is like a seat belt. You won't realize it until the crash.
Thank you, Sunil ji. I'm totally agree with you. Like any technologies work along with the data only. If data is not available, technology can't do anything. So now I come to Dinesh ji. What strategy can organization adopt to integrate litigation management tool with their existing tax or ERP system?
Yeah, so when you are deciding on anything, any new project, so to my understanding, first is whether you are eligible to enter into that contract or to adopt that technology. Second, whether it is legally permissible or not. And third one is the commercial viability. So I think in the previous session we discussed that, and there was a huge discussion on whether it is cost effective or not. So whenever you are deciding on implementing a litigation management tool, first of all you need to see what is your objective, what you want to achieve. Whether you are doing it manually in the current structure, or you are already using a tool which you really wanted to upgrade. And also you need to list down what are the inefficiencies of the current process, be it manual or through digital. And when you are analyzing the tool, you need to look for a couple of things. So first is whether you are getting the results, what are the inefficiencies are getting addressed in the upcoming tool or not. Second, whether this new tool is going to be integrated with your existing system or not. Sometimes there is a limitation that it is not getting integrated, and you end up providing reports and details manually. I would strongly recommend you should avoid that. There should be a complete integration with your existing system where you can put a scheduler and the system should have the free flow of information. Next is, that is my personal view, when you are integrating a system, there has to be a functionality of pushing the information instead of pulling the information from the the breach of security of the data. When the system is pulling, then you need to give more access to your existing system, instead of when your system is pulling that information, pushing that information, then in that case there will be a limited access, so you can restrict and you can secure your data. Next is, you need to see the training needs, whether you need to train your existing staff on that software or not. What is the capability of the service provider to train your people? Next is, how frequent the system is going to be upgraded or updated. There may be a situation where very frequently there would be updates, and then you will end up having some blackout times during that updates. So you need to keep that in mind as well. Also, whether that system is going to create a repository of all your data or not. So sometimes you will see that people are saying that yes, we will have the repository. Having repository is not enough. The system should be able to help you to retrieve the data as and when required, and there has to be a search facility in that system where you can simply search by maybe a document number or invoice number or whatever be the field, but you should be easily able to retrieve the data from your system. So I think these are few of the things which you need to keep in mind while deciding whether you want to implement a new litigation management tool or any software.
Thank you, Dinesh. Thanks for this insight. Now I come to my last question with Mr. Shrey. Looking ahead, what innovation or emerging technology do you see transforming the way tax litigation is handled?
So I think, for sure, we have been talking about AI and ML that will be implemented, but one thing which I definitely want the software companies to develop is more on data analytics. And when I say data analytics, it's basically to preempt, the tax litigation that may arise. Now, how you do that? Because definitely all the finance people would want to plan earlier than the litigation happens. So, for example, you have all your financial statements, you have the past litigation data. So, you probably compare the two, do some variance analysis, and throw sort of the key risk areas for the organization to plan the data that may be required by the tax officials. One, the tools probably would be regularly updated in terms of ongoing litigation. Key, sort of pick the key areas that are being regularly litigated and then help you plan in terms of how you can implement certain checks and balances in place. And as and when that comes up, you're already prepared. You don't have to, because a lot of times what happens, as and when the litigation comes up, you start going in the background, understanding what was there, what was the backup data, etc., and then plan for it. So probably preempt. So any software technology that helps you to preempt is definitely required. Two, obviously the research part, and I know there are a lot of AI tools that help you in researching, but obviously that will take a lot of time to give you the right amount of data. You don't want to present something which was not there and it was all made up basis, the generative AI, if I may call it. Third probably would be on data retention and retrieval, I think, which Dinesh also touched upon and I think Sunil also touched upon. That sort of technology is very, very critical because people keep on moving, right? So for any organization, having the data in place, easily retrievable by anyone in future is very, very important. So I think these three areas are very critical.
Thank you, Suresh. And that's come to end of my questions. Now I'm open the floor for anyone asking any question with the panel members. Any question? I think no question. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for this session.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's give a huge round of applause to the entire panel for beautifully curating the entire session. Thank you so much. And may I invite Mr. Chandra Agarwal. Sir, can we have you on the dais to present a small token of appreciation to the entire panel for their time they have given us here.